I'm here with Thermaltake at CES 2024. Let me go ahead and show you around. So first up, Thermaltake is celebrating their 25th year anniversary of being in business. So they've come out with some amazing products to basically commemorate this. And one of the things that they wanted to do was actually come out with this hydrangea blue color scheme. This is basically going to be the entire color scheme for the year. They're talking this may be a limited edition thing, or it may stick around, but it's really cool. And one of the products that they put this on that I'm super excited about, if you've seen a lot of my videos in the past, is the Tower 300. I've done builds in the Tower 100 and Tower 300 or Tower 200 recently, and I'm super excited to see the Tower 300 hands-on. What's different about this case, and we'll get into more details later on, is that the fact that this case is no longer the square box, that we had before, it's a rectangular prism. Now we're moving to this angular, like octagon shape, where you also have a nice top panel that should be able to go ahead and pop right off, and then you can go ahead and pop the panel off like that, and you can also pop these panels off, and that gives you that nice panoramic view of the entire case here. And so it's got like a white interior, and then the exterior has this beautiful blue color that I'm a huge fan of. And to go ahead and match everything, they have come out with their Swap Fan EX, taking these are their magnetic fans. They went ahead and took the Swap Fan EX as well to go ahead and make these also in that exact same color. Along with, they came out with limited edition RAM with the same color, and even a power supply in that same blue color. They even have their nice coolers. So this is the TH360 V2 Ultra ARGB cooler here, and it's got the exact same color. And you can see on the products, they have a custom 25 logo on all these to go ahead and commemorate what they're able to do. If we continue on, they also have another case that's being made in, or two more cases that are coming in this color. And this one right here is the CTE E600 MX. So basically what the MX lineup means, and I'll show you guys a little bit more in a minute, is that basically they're going to ship this with both a glass front panel as well as a mesh front panel as well. But what's really cool about this case is that, one, they've rotated the motherboard. That's really popular with a lot of the stuff Thermaltake's been doing. But they also have something I really haven't seen, is they came out with this idea of a floating GPU. So if you see, this huge GPU in the middle has become the showcase of the entire system, and it sits just perfectly in the center, right below the CPU, and I absolutely love how this all looks. Continuing on with this case here, we have this Series 330. This is also in the hydrangea blue. And basically what's different between the Series 300 and the Series 330, I took a look at the Series 300, I think last year at CES, is that this one supports the rear-mounted power connectors that a lot of motherboard manufacturers like Asus and MSI are coming out with. So basically, I'll show you where that all lines up, and basically they all kind of allow you to plug in right from the back. So if we continue on, the CTE 600 MX comes in both black and white, and here are the replacement panels. These just pop on and off really easy. I went ahead and had a demonstration earlier. It's super easy to see, and this black one's got the mesh right now, so it's just nice and easy. There's a lot of room to work with. You can fit a ton of custom water cooling in these, and they're just a really great workspace to actually build your custom build in. If we continue down, these are that Series 330 I was just talking about, just in black and white. Like I said, if you look at the white one, you can see that all the power connectors are all running along the back of the motherboard. So you have this super clean aesthetic where there's no power connectors coming in, not a single one. And you can, if you have a compatible GPU, you don't even have to have the actual power connector like this one does. So this one, you can actually run the power through, everything gets hidden. It's just a super clean look that only, this case and a few others out there on the market currently support. And if you don't want to use that, you can buy this case and get one of those motherboards later, because it's just a little gap that sits right behind your motherboard. So it's not a big deal if you're not using it, but it's just one other feature you want to go ahead and keep in mind when looking for cases these days. Next up, we have the CTE C200 And this is kind of like a dual chamber box style case. So plenty of room for liquid cooling. I believe this has support up to a 280 millimeter radiator up front, 280 at the bottom, 280 in the back, as well as a 280 top, giving you a lot of airflow. But what it also does is it has that dual chamber setup, similar to a lot of cases that have been coming out on the market lately. And it's kind of nice because it gives you that clean front and super clean sides, where you're able to give a lot of area for nice cooling, keep your power supply separate from heat generation to keep that in mind. So if we continue, they also have a snow version, which is just their white series. All white inside, same exact idea as the black one. But now we get to go into the Tower 300s. One of the things I've really loved about the Tower series is the color combinations that they've been working with. And they've continued here, I believe, with 7 iterations. So you have a white, a black, they have this matcha green, racing green, a turquoise, and then they have Bumblebee, and they also have the hydrangea green that we already looked at earlier. And all of these cases have those features, same features I talked about earlier. But one other thing I wanted to show is you do have the add-on screen that you can add. A lot of Thermaltake products, they have that featured here as well. So there's a lot of support here. And one of the things that the Tower 200 lacked was cooling for high-powered CPUs, but this one can do a 420 millimeter radiator. So that's definitely something really cool to see. And then if we continue on, we can see the other colors, but really what's cool here, this is a stand for the Tower 300, and it actually rotates it onto its angle, and because of the octagon shape, it works out perfectly. And everybody I've talked to, especially at the team here at Thermaltake, it kind of looks like a cryo chamber or something like that. And I just can't imagine some of the really cool builds that we've been able to test out. And so it's definitely something I'm excited to see what we can do with, and I definitely want to get this as stand as well as the case in my shop as soon as possible to be testing out. Moving on, Thermaltake is also coming into the market when it comes to racing simulators. So they have an entire lineup of products, including the actual steel tube assembly, monitors, the actual stand to go and mount all 3 triple monitors, as well as the racing seat. All are available products that Thermaltake is now coming out with. That's really cool to see another entrant into that market. Now, another product I've been thinking about personally are some of these desk products that Thermaltake has been showing off. So they have another beautiful build here, but this entire desk here is a Thermaltake desk. It's super deep, but it has some really, really cool features. First off, all the monitors are on a rail system, meaning that you can come back here, slide your monitor, if I adjust it, slide it down, move your monitors on a rail system, just like that, and basically you can adjust exactly where you want your monitors to go. Basically because it's all mounted on a rail on the back with nice cable management, so you don't have to worry about that. And it's super deep, meaning you can fit a lot of stuff on your desk if you want to, or just have a super clean, wide workspace with a nice mouse pad right here. Another thing that was just a nice touch that I really appreciate Thermaltake did was that they made the actual key switches, mechanical key switches, for moving the desk up and down. So these are mechanical key switches like from your keyboard, and that's what allows you to go ahead and control everything with this actual desk itself. And they also have their new chair, which I'm a huge fan of. It's got a really a nice solid back. And I sat in it. It's got nice comfort on the sides, so definitely something really cool. We come on to the custom water cooling side of things. For Thermaltake, they introduced a couple of new things. First off, they have a new radiator series. The radiators themselves aren't anything too special. However, they went ahead and added screws so you can remove these face plates to go ahead and paint them or customize them however you want. And they come in both white and black, as well as a number of other sizes. And then they also showed off some specific fittings that were super interesting. These, I believe, are their SF fittings, and they actually have a super unique feature where you don't need to have, normally when you have custom water cooling, you have to basically insert your fitting a little further than the actual depth of where it would sit. That way it sits in the O-ring. Well, these ones actually have a 3-layer design, which allows you to basically put the collar on and have it just sit flush here, and it's not going to leak, or less likely to go and leak than a traditional fitting. And it gives you a little bit more room if you do have any kind of movement with your system. They have a bunch of other different colors, as well as adapters that they also released in this product stack, but we'll go ahead and cover those at a later date. Additionally, Thermaltake also announced 3 new tower coolers. These are the Astria 600, 400, and 200. These are going to be really well priced. I believe they said, I think something like 35, 45, like 65, somewhere around there for the pricing. Not bad at all, especially for the sizing. And this has, I believe, 4 heat pipes, and then these two have 6. So definitely a nice setup there. If we move on to the water cooling side of things for AIOs, something that was kind of showed off to me was that this cooler here is a concept. It's not, there's nothing official on it yet, but if we go ahead and stop the fan here, these covers are basically hub covers. We can actually pop them off and change them if we wanted to. And the idea is, if this ever comes to market, you could 3D print your own face covers, slap them on there, adjust your own look, customize your system, and then all of a sudden you're back to having a fully custom look. These are some products they've had out for a while, so we'll continue on, moving on down. So the Small Fan EX system, probably my most popular video I've ever made, is talking about these. And they went ahead and released a few things with these. First, they updated them. They are no longer requiring a separate hub. They can be ran off of the ARGB header on your motherboard, which for me, I really appreciate, because the traditional headers themselves, or the adapters themselves that they came with before, required a separate piece of software. It makes it way more complex than having it all run through your motherboard. So I really appreciate them doing this. And these are the same magnetic fans that everybody loves. They basically just snap together, and then you can just throw power on them, and they will go ahead and start up just like these here. And same here, you also have the replaceable blades, just like the ones before. So you guys swap your direction without swapping the actual direction of the fan itself for where your air is going. They also have their Tough Fan Pro series, which is basically an all-black series, and they have some new connectors that they're working on to go ahead and give you some better connectivity, so they don't adjust as much when they actually are, sometimes one of the issues with, magnetic fans is that if you get them, just a little off, they'll start to go ahead and disconnect. Well, these new connectors that they're working on right now are allowing them to basically have the fans even further apart. Even if something happened to your system, they would still run with the actual power connector. So another really cool product that Thermaltake has is their Flow RC Ultra 360 CPU and memory AIO. So what's cool about this is that instead of just cooling your CPU itself, the actual liquid cooler also cools your memory modules, and they both have the customizable screens that you can set to pretty much any image that you want, have stats up. Really cool to go ahead and customize to how you want it, and really it's kind of similar to the display that would go at the bottom of some of their cases, and I absolutely love how this kind of all comes together. So they're also talking about some of the memory modules that they're working on. They have some tough RAM that's actually going up to 8,000 megatransfers per second, and they have tons of different colorways, all the different colors of their cases, and some even extras, which you don't really see. A lot of manufacturers have been limited on colors lately, but you got some like really light blues, you got that matcha or racing green, and then you got the hydrangea blue for the 25th anniversary, and they just look absolutely amazing here. But one product in particularly that I am probably the most excited about, because I use this product more than anything probably out of my shop. This is Dr.Power 3. Dr.Power 2 was basically a power supply tester. It allows you just to quickly turn on your power supply, check voltages of what's coming in and out. Well, they went ahead and updated it to Dr.Power 3. This is coming out soon. And what the big thing here is, all of a sudden, we can now do the 12 plus 4 pin, ATX 3.1 standard testing, which we weren't able to do because it was only limited to the 8-pin connectors previously. So this is a huge deal, and it's something that I'm going to pick up the second it comes out. I'm super excited for this, and it's definitely something that, as somebody that works on computers, I really appreciate it. And anybody considering working on computers or, needing to test a lot, this is a great product. At least the Dr.Power 2 was, so I'm excited to test out Dr.Power 3. Now, when it comes to power supplies, there's a number of different power supplies that Thermaltake's offering. These are all their super high efficiency power supplies. These are all platinum rated. But what's crazy is last year they showed off this SFX power supply. This is 1,000 watts. However, this is also 1,000 watts. This is a traditional ATX power supply. But if you look at their brand new SFX power supply, this is also 1,000 watts. It is smaller than my hand, and it's absolutely tiny, and something that a lot of manufacturers aren't doing that I do appreciate Thermaltake added is they added a power switch on the SFX power supplies, which a lot of people actually forget to go ahead and add, where it's not that they forget, these manufacturers just don't add it to begin with. So that is a really cool product, and I am super excited to get my hands on this whenever it is available. So just like that, that wraps up our Thermaltake coverage at CES 2024. We hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe for more content, and I'll see you guys in the next one.